You're watching CES Live, powered by Ustream.tv, the most powerful way to stream live video. And by UTech, makers of the TriCaster family of broadcast and streaming systems. And now, CES Live.
Hey everyone, I'm Rene Ritchie. I am back. Your petitions did not succeed in getting me ejected, so you are stuck with me for another day. But I got a great new co-host. It's Sean from Tom's Guide. How are you, Sean?
Howdy, I'm doing fantastic.
All right, so...
I'm glad you're here.
You're glad I'm
glad
here.
you're here, so far.
So this is different. Yesterday was all about wearables. Today we're talking about 4K TVs. Have you heard of those?
Yes, and you cannot wear a 4K TV, not yet.
I want to.
Anyway.
I want to wear it. So if I got a strong enough chain, I feel like I could pull it off.
So it will work for Flavy Flav, maybe.
Yeah, it's just, it's so many pixels. And we have a tremendous guest to kick it off with. We have Mark joining us from Sharp. How are you, Mark?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Awesome.
So Sharp has always been, like, I don't know the right way of saying this, but like when everyone else did 3 colors, you did like, wow, we're going to put a 4th in. That you've always seemed to be doing something really cool, but something uniquely Sharp.
Well, and Sharp is the company that first commercialized LCD displays, so we know something about them.
You're familiar with the matter.
We've been doing it for a long, long time.
These kids today, these upstarts,
yeah.
LCD.
You said we're not going to talk about my age. So.
Back when we had one subpixel.
That's right. Yeah.
It was called green.
Yeah, so we're launching at the show a brand new lineup of 4K television sets. It's 4 times as many models as we had last year. But some of the most exciting things we're launching and demonstrating is even beyond 4K resolution. And you mentioned the 4th subpixel we call Quatron.
Yes.
Red, yellow, green, blue, or green, red, RGB, and yellow. So we're using that panel on a beyond 4K set.
All right, so when you say 4K, I mean, 4K sounds like every year at CES, 4K is the big thing, but it sounds like that's actually becoming a thing, and it's still not enough for you. You want like 8, 16, how many Ks can we fit in here?
Well, and part of that, what's driving that is, in fact, the NHK recently did research with consumers.
That's the Japanese research?
It's the Japanese broadcaster, in the national broadcaster. And they had 8K images up against real objects. And people could not tell the difference between 8K and a reality. So the more you can drive toward reality, the better the experience for the customer.
So that's serious reality TV.
That's serious reality
I've
TV,
joked, like, I got a 5K computer over the holidays, and it looks better than my real life.
Well, that's, I don't know, we'll have to talk about that.
You know, I have to say, I did see the 8K demo that you have yesterday, and I was pretty amazed. I mean, there was probably still a nose print from me on the screen, because I put my face as close as I could, and there were no pixels.
You cannot see the pixels.
It was not, I mean,
and
at all.
We're actually replicating that experience, or very close to that experience, with this beyond 4K technology. Now,
I had a conversation with some of your folks over many hours trying to figure it out. Can you tell us in 10 seconds what beyond 4K does?
Well, what we do is we use that 4th subpixel, the yellow subpixel.
Okay. So
and then we're able to control separately the top and the bottom of the pixels.
Okay.
So through software, we can divide the pixels in half, and we can go from 24 million subpixels on a standard 4K television to 66 million subpixels on the beyond 4K TV.
Okay, so divided by 4, we're going from how many?
24 up to 66.
Wow.
Million.
Wow.
So like, I'm pretending to be a non-CES person for a minute, and I'm just hearing these numbers. And I asked you before the show, what's the density getting on these? And you told me I couldn't count that high. So if I'm sitting there, I'm trying to tell my mom she has to get with the current generation of TV. What's in it for her? What's the pitch I give her?
It's that ultimate experience. It's all the details that come out when you have the resolution, the color, and the contrast that begin to mimic real life.
And things are happening with color as well. That sort of seems to be like the sleeper news here at CES.
Well, there's a number of technologies that we're demonstrating in our booth. Number one is something we call Spectros, which is a new type of LED bulb that widens the color gamut. Okay. And then there's a quantum dot demonstration
I've heard of that
as well. There's a lot of buzz around quantum dot.
I'm uncertain about quantum dots.
Can you explain them to me?
That was my poor attempt at a quantum physics joke.
Thank you, Heisenberg.
There you go.
Thank you very much, Heisenberg.
And then the 8K set we're showing is the next generation of color technology. It actually has separate red, green, and blue LED bulbs. So it goes beyond.
So for color gamut, if people aren't familiar with that, your eye can see way more colors than typically can be displayed on a monitor, right? And you're saying, haha, wait a minute, we're going to expand what we can show you on a display.
Expand and deepen the color experience as well.
So reds, I think magentas have traditionally been harder on displays
Very
to show
difficult.
accurately.
The Quantum Dot does a great job, as does our Spectros on the reds and the whites especially.
You get better reds, you get better, it looks like a more lifelike picture.
Yes. Actually at our press conference we had Wally Pfister, if you know him. He's
absolutely
award-winning cinematographer and director, Inception, Batman, etc. And he put it in a very simple way, why you want more resolution. And what he said was, it's like food. You know, you can have basic food and it tastes pretty good, but when you start seasoning it with great extra taste, or in our case, more detail, the experience is just that much better.
Our chat room is asking, and we get this question a lot, is this overkill? And I think every time you hear about a new technology, you think it's overkill until you see it.
Exactly, yeah. When you look at the demo, you start seeing like people way off in the distance, or something's going on in the building that you couldn't see before. And it's like that analogy with the food. You didn't know what you were missing till it was there. Sometimes you don't even know exactly what you're seeing, but it adds to the experience. So
I've seen some great videos where it's like from the top of a skyscraper overlooking an entire city, and then when you peek into it, you actually see people, not dots, you see like little legs and like
miles
little
away,
arms
but you can see
moving
them
around, yeah.
So that just adds to the experience.
So the elephant in the room still, and whenever we tell somebody about stuff, they go, oh, yes, but what about content? When can I download it or when can I buy it to take advantage of those screens?
Well,
is that a thorn in your side every year?
Well, I think 4K content is coming pretty quickly. You've got companies like Netflix and Amazon, DirecTV, and others that are beginning to stream 4K content. And our new Beyond 4K platform will upscale that content and give you those 66 million subpixels.
So what do I get from upscaling? I mean, you're starting with HD, and now all of a sudden it's magically 4K. I mean, am I really getting?
Are you getting every one of your
4K?
K's worth?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you're filling up every pixel, and the algorithm is doing its best to upscale that to the higher res, and you will see the difference.
So there's going to be more detail. Someone who looks maybe blocky in the background is going to look smoother.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So what is your favorite part about 4K or beyond 4K? What gets you excited about it?
Again, it's the detail, it's the color, it's the experience.
You want to see if that fortune cookie that he's reading reflected in his glasses is actually what the actor's looking at.
Thank you, that's a great, I'm going to use that, that's great.
Well, I think that's one of the things is, you remember that old joke where you could see the watch on the guy's wrist in the Ancient Egypt movie? And now with these things, it's so detailed, we can actually see if the stuff in the movie is really what they're telling us it is.
I think we're giving set directors headaches.
Oh, they must hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
I personally am glad this is not in 4K. I missed a few spots shaving today.
The makeup industry is your best friend. Every time you guys up-res, they get a whole new set of makeup to put out.
And then for the next generation, as you already mentioned, we're demonstrating the 8K. Straight 8K technology as well.
So 8K, is that it? If 8K looks like reality? No, if it looks like reality, like, is there any point of going to 16K?
You never say never. Maybe the next is a hologram or something, but 8K is, it's like looking out a window. In fact, the Beyond 4K is the same experience. And
there is a company, Stream TV, I don't know if you've seen them, they're actually doing, it's like a faux hologram. They're doing something crazy with subpixels also, where they're shooting the colors from different pixels out, and they meet somewhere in the air in front of you, and it actually looks like a hologram.
Wow.
It's kind of amazing.
That's very cool.
So yeah, the whole little subpixel thing is a thing.
And one other thing, we're also showing a new technology for creating a very ultra thin panel, and it's a glass, maybe you saw it in our booth, but it's a newly designed glass light diffuser that allows us to have less than a ½ inch thickness on the panel itself.
So can you bend it? Are you going to bend your TVs?
Not recommended. No,
You're not going to do what Samsung's doing?
So is the
no, probably not.
Is the sell on this that as you want bigger panels, you need the higher resolution to make them look good at that size? Because eventually, I want my wall to be a panel. Like frankly, I want my house to be a giant panel.
Well, one of the things, and you're correct. The bigger the screen, the more you can enjoy the resolution, and it changes the paradigm of how close you should sit to the television as well. In fact, with like Beyond 4K or a 4K set, you really should be getting closer because you're not going to see the
my
pixels.
1080p, I've got to be 10 feet away from it.
Yeah, this you could be 5 feet away and no problem. Or 3. You had your nose up on the
Yeah,
screen,
yeah.
right?
There's a little print there from my nose on your screen.
I wondered where
Is
they
that what people are telling you they want? Because every year, like we get told by this is going to be the next big thing. We see people come out in fancy glasses, but people often say, "I just want my TV to look better. I want a better picture." That seems to be resonating a lot this year.
Well, I think number one request from consumers for a long time has always been around picture quality and the experience. And then the other new thing is, it's not that new at this point, but being able to get content over the internet and having a robust smart platform that allows the consumer to widen their ability to get content.
You're saying that I'm laughing because my TV gets Netflix, my DVD player gets Netflix, my Apple TV gets Netflix. I have like Netflix on my fridge, I think, at this
You
point.
only watch Netflix.
No, but it's just everywhere. It's almost ubiquitous. These content providing services have become like the internet itself.
It's changing very quickly, yes.
And I think you have some news also in your smart TV platform, right?
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to launch 2 series of televisions with the Android TV platform.
Oh, okay.
Which opens a door to thousands of Google Play apps.
So Thubaden is asking, what about things like sports and high motion? Is that something that's getting better with time as well?
Yeah, motion rates are going up. There's technology, we call it Aqua Motion, that takes it to 240 hertz, 480 hertz. One is 960 hertz refresh rate.
Awesome. So they can
eliminate that blur, right?
They can enjoy their football games in pristine.
All the detail.
They can see the person sitting in the stands in the nosebleed section, what they're writing on their sign.
Right.
It's a bold new era.
Awesome.
And then we're demonstrating a bunch of other technologies around free-form displays, where you can cut a panel to, let's say, the shape of a dashboard in a car.
Nice.
It's pretty interesting.
And you said it's not just TVs, right? Like your display technology. We were joking before the show. It spans from a tiny little watch or phone all the way up.
Yeah, we have 5-inch up to. Did you see the 120-inch as well? 120-inch 4K demonstration in
Bring
the
your
booth.
own crane.
Yes. So where would you like to see panels where we don't have them yet? Do you want to? Can we put them on everything? What do you think is an exciting place to put?
There will be displays in many different locations. We even showed one, you probably saw it, but it's a see-through display.
Mm-hmm.
Where it could be a window, and then at some point content would come up on the window.
So we're finally getting Minority Report.
It's getting there, yeah.
If people want to find out more about what Sharp's doing with displays, where's the best place for them to go?
SharpUSA.com.
SharpUSA.com.
It's all there.
Right.
Thank you so much for your time. That
Thank
was
you guys.
Thanks a lot.
I enjoyed it.
Cheers.
So that is everything 4K, 4K beyond 8. How many Ks do you want?
I really like the 8. I have to say, the 8, it's like a Retina display iPhone as big as a wall.
And it's different when you see a phone. Like, the phone is one thing, you see a television, it just blows your mind.
Yeah.
My mind is, boom, blown. So we're going to be right back. This is Renee.
I'm Sean.
This is CES Live. Keep it locked to, where are we going to go? GeekBeat TV /CES Live.
All right.